Then this is the next concept that is called as workstation and its design. So nowadays we are using the computers, laptops, or some electronic gadgets to perform our works. And especially we are talking about the sophisticated industries. We are talking about the IT industries. We are talking about the industries where work from home culture is there. Then we have to think about these workstations. So from this picture itself, you can understand what exactly the workstation is. So an area with the equipment for the performance of a specialized task, usually by a single individual, an intelligent terminal or the personal computer usually connected to a computer network. So thousands of workers or their employees are connected to a single network. A powerful microcomputer used especially for the scientific or engineering work. And nowadays, even you are connected from country to country also. So in India, we are operating the computers, we are following the guidelines, we are doing the projects of US, UK, Canada, etc. So every employees under that particular company is connected with the network. And then we have to perform the required work or to complete that projects. So this is especially focused on the furniture. So in the workstation design, when we are talking about this computer and a laptop or other IT industry work, then we have to think about the furniture first. So workstation consists of furniture, equipment, work material, and overall environment. So we have to think about all these parameters, mainly the furniture, because the design aspect is very important. Then we have to think about the equipments, whether we have to purchase the personal computers, whether we have to purchase the laptops, whether we have to purchase the different screens, what exactly the dimension of that screen should be, and whether it is a particular rectangular type, whether it is a square type, what company or which company should be there, etc. Then the chair design, then the table design, then the flexibility in the chairs to change the height, what exactly the cushion of that chair is, so to feel the comfortable. Then to support the back or the backrest, we have to also check about the material of that chair, etc. So these are the various parameters we have to think about while working on the workstation designs. So the persons do job there. Then work portions include the movement of body parts. Work activities include the visual, auditory, vocal, and motor types. So we are thinking about the biomechanics, we are thinking about the anthropometry, we are thinking about the illumination level, noise level, and the work environment, etc. So all the parameters are included in this workstation design. Their combined effect is the performance, output, and the person's well-being. So workspace design, good lighting, ventilation, attractive and comfortable work situations are the basic requirement. And the office furniture and the utility tools like control, displays, switches, trays, bins, office equipments, and the instruments are also play an important role. So if you are dealing with some of the documents, pages, etc., then we need some trays, drawers to put that documents. If you are dealing with the printer, scanner, etc., then we have to have that particular equipments or the instruments nearby our table or chairs. Then this is ergonomic office furniture and utility tools. So these are the details of this furniture for especially for the workstation design. So general systems components include the computers, keyboard, table, chair, cupboards. So we all know this, but the operator is the most important component in the systems, and work output is the main aim of our workstation designs. So for that things, we have to go for the comfortable atmosphere, comfortable gesture and postures, comfortable furniture, etc. And from that point of view, we have to check some of the parameters like The dimension should be slightly adjustable according to the individual's requirements. So we have already discussed about the person's height, then person's weight, etc. And from that point of view, we have to change the dimensions. Then visual task. So monitor, keyboard, papers, books, etc. should be at eye height only. Then keyboard, mouse, notepad, pen, hand controls should be convenient to elbow height and forearm length. So whatever the equipments, whatever the instruments, whatever the materials we have to use while working in that atmosphere, so that should be covered in the forearm length only. Then leg room, height depends on the knee height, and thigh thickness and its depth depends on the foot length. Thigh width and lower leg length decides the width and height of the seat pan, and then functional reach decides the height of the shelves and other furnitures. Furniture should provide user freedom to extend legs or hands, to lean forward or backward, to rotate left or right, and to take any postures. So these are the micro level parameters which should be think of while designing the workstation, especially for the computer operators. Then ergonomic chairs with large backrest are most comfortable as they provide support to back and neck. Otherwise, their lumbar spine issues may be there, or some neck pains may be the issue, or there may be a back pain may be the issue. So depending on the chairs also, we can minimize these musculoskeletal disorders with the help of comfortable chairs. Then seat height must be fully adjustable. Height 35 to 50 centimeter, depth 35 to 45 centimeter, and width 45 centimeter is the average design height. Then seat surface should not generate any pressure to the seated person. So seat is also should be comfortable. It should not generate any type of pressure. And that is why we have to check the material of that cushion also. Material of the backrest, material of that chair, and the quality of the chair. So these are the number of parameters that should be think of while designing the workstation for the computer operators. Then for the machine controls and displays. So we have to control these mostly hand and foot operated machines, because sometimes the machinery requirement is that one hand, 1 foot, or 2 hand, or 2 foot, and 2 hand and 2 foot operation machineries. So there are a variety of machineries which can be operated from this point of view. And from that point of view, we have to check the different parameters. So they transmit the inputs to the machines, vehicle, or equipment. They are selected on the basis of their functional utility and located in easy reach so that the operator's body parts are not overstressed. So we have to reduce the stress or the strain which can be raised in your body. So that body part should be close to that machine, but safe also. So controls are of continuous type. That is, example is crank, knob, wheel, etc. Or detain type. Example may be a key lock or switch, bar knob, thumb wheel, and different switches where steps-wise operation is required. So controls on the continuous and detain type is important. So controls having sequential relation should be arranged in functional groups with their associated displays and in the operational sequence. If sequential operation follows fixed pattern like car gear handle, they should be arranged to facilitate operations, that is top to bottom or left to right. So sufficient spacing is required for the movement. Then control should be located as per the operator's requirement, that is easy operation. Then time lag between the control input and system response should be minimum and consistent with the safe and efficient operations. So we have to take care about all these parameters as well as with the safety point of view, with the efficiency point of view. Also, we have to think about it. Then Knobs are provided where little force is required and when fine adjustment is necessary. So some knobs nowadays, like dimmer stats, these knobs are available, which can be easily rotate. And so there is no stress or no strain while working on these dimmer stats, or some digital platforms are also. Sometimes nowadays we are also having some digital displays and the touch screen displays also to handle the things very easily. Then hand wheels are used for the two-hand controls. So then knurling, that is nothing but the corrugations, should be provided for good graspings. So if the corrugation is not provided, there is a chances of slipping. So we have to give the corrugations on these hand wheels to have the good grip. So these are the different parameters to think about related to the machine controls and display under the workstation designs. Then the natural expectations of control movements. So control movement should match with the natural expectations. So forward motion for front driving, backward motion for reverse driving, then clockwise motion for right direction, anti-clockwise motion for the left direction, then forward motion for boom descent and vice versa. So these are the different examples where the natural movement is there. Means if you want to drive in a front, then obviously the forward motion should be there. So these are the movements that is called as natural movements, and the expectations are the natural one. In electrical switches, downward indicates on and upward indicates off. So that is again subconscious mind also think about these things, that if the button is in the downward position, then it indicates obviously on. Then this is the simple examples of this natural expectations. In key lock switches, keys vertical position indicates off position and turning clockwise indicates start positions. So these are again the different examples related to these lock switches. So this is called as natural expectations of control movement. So why it is expected in this workstation design or in the ergonomic study? Because if it is a natural one, then obviously we are feeling the comfortable. So if you are feeling the comfortable, obviously the efficiency is more, as we are reducing the time to operate or to observe. Then there is another point, that is preventing accident activations. So we have already discussed in the first slide itself that this ergonomics is going to decrease the accident number. So control should be so designed and located that they will not move or change their position accidentally. So they should not come out accidentally or by slight flush from off to on or on to off likewise. So accidentally any switch or anything should not be changed from on to off or off to on likewise. Such inadvertent operation can cause accident to the persons or to the machines or to the systems. So to prevent such accidental activations, some of the measures can be taken, like cover or guard the control. So if you are doing some grinding operations, and while doing that grinding operations, if your elbow or foot is touched to a particular button, and that due to that touch, unknowingly that position may be changed from off to on likewise. So for that purpose, we can cover that guard. We can cover that buttons with the help of the guards also. Then we can control that accidental activation. Then provide interlock so that extra movement is required to change the position. Then provide resistance by spring action or viscous friction so that the extra effort is required for the actuation. Then provide rotary action for the operation. Provide recess, slot, shield, etc. to maintain controls within it, and finger is required to insert the inside. So for example, the push button or switch in races or guard on foot pedal of a power press. So these are the simple examples in the industries which can be observed for avoiding these the accidental activations. Then provide on and off buttons separately and with different colors. So we can observe these type of buttons on the motors. That green color indicates, that green color push indicates the on condition, and for off we can use the red push button. So likewise also we can avoid the accidental activations. Then provide dead man control, which will keep the system working till the control is pressed and will stop the system when the control is released. So for example, the petrol nozzle trigger, that is the knob, or drill machine push button, these are called as dead man control. So these are the different guidelines to control the accidental activation. So this is also under the workstation designs. Then foot controls. So we have already discussed that some persons are feeling comfortable at a particular height while resting the foot. Some persons are feeling the comfortable with the help of this foot rest, and some persons are feeling comfortable on the ground itself. So foot controls have specific use, and where powerful braking force is required or when log is only conveniently. So example, the brake pedal or acceleration control lever in car, or brake pedal for the power press or press brake, metal shear, and other machines. So we all know these types of comfortable foot controlling systems. So we can adopt any one which we feel comfortable for us, for the employee. Then regarding the displays and the light signals, so we can adopt some of the guidelines under this workstation design guidelines. So these are useful to provide the necessary information to the operators, that is displays and the light signals. There may be a dial gauge like pressure gauge. There may be a pointer. There may be a digital display. There may be a audio signals. There may be a visuals. There may be analog, etc. So in the olden technologies or the design, some charts are displayed. Some rotating charts are there. In some of the cases, some visuals are there. In some of the cases, some audios for the warning signs, etc. are there. And in some of the cases, nowadays, we are using the digital displays. The examples are bell, horn, and warning notices are also displays which give the informations. So colored signals have some meanings. So generally, the red indicates the stop position. Flashing red indicates the emergency condition. Green indicates the on position. Yellow indicates the wait, and white indicates no right or no wrong transitory conditions. So these are some of the color codes for the colored signals. Then display should have clear meaning. They should be easy to understand and visible properly illuminated, and also visible when power fails. So sometimes we have to use these fluorescent displays, because in case of a power failure, some signals, some displays should be also visible even though power is not there. Then some coded and label according to the function. Some coding should be used, some label should be used in that display signs also. The numerical display indicates time, temperature, pressure, flow, humidity, pH, speed, etc. So these are the different examples of the numerical displays. So pH should be between the 0 to 14. So if that is 7 or near about 7, it means that neutral solution is there. If the pressure limit is there, suppose if you are working on the atmospheric pressure only, so near about 1 atmospheric pressure. So 1 is indicated by that pressure gauge. If the temperature should be maintained between 25 to 30, then that figure or the number is 25 to 30 only. So likewise, there are a number of examples of the numerical displays. Sometimes we have to use moving pointer on a fixed scale. How many shapes, circular, curve, horizontal straight, or vertical straight. So sometimes in some of the displays, they have clearly mentioned the red color, they have mentioned the green color or yellow color, etc. So that pointer is moving from one point to another point. So if that pointer is in between that area, if it is in the green zone, then it is well and good. So likewise, some pointers are also the parts of these displays. The numbers or the figure should not be obstructed by the pointer. So that number should be displayed, that color should be displayed, and the pointer in that gauge or the displays in a design from that point of view only. So displays should be located in viewing area and perpendicular to the line of sight. Then labels should be provided where extra information is necessary. So if you want to change the set points on a frequency basis, then you can go for the labels. So for this shift, for this product, for this particular cycle, this particular temperature and pressure parameter should be used. So for another product, again, we have to use another thing. So we have to go for the labels as well as for the displays. That is depending on our requirement. These are the different guidelines for the displays and the light signals. Then how to improve the safety in the workstations. So we have discussed about the various guidelines related to the workstation design. Now in these slides, we have to discuss about the how to improve the safety. So train the employees well. So we have to go for the training. So comprehensive training is a must for the preventing workplaces injuries. Make sure that all of the employees have access to and complete all the safety trainings for their positions. Then second point is reward employees for safe behavior. So if someone is having good and safe behavior in the workplace or in the work environment, then we have to motivate that persons. Then use labels and signs. So labels and signs are cheap and effective way to quickly communicate important informations. So rather than communicating directly to that worker on a frequently basis, we can adopt these labels and signs to give the same information, but through the different media. Then we can keep the things clean. So that is the hygiene part and housekeeping parts. So we can adopt the 5S level program, that is the Japanese techniques for the housekeeping purpose. Then make sure employees have the right tools and have regular equipment inspections. So from the regular inspection, we can understand whether the overhauling is required, whether any repair, replacement, substitution, or the maintenance required, and then we can go for the corrective actions. Then we can encourage the stretch breaks. So stretch breaks are an easy way to improve the workplace ergonomics and employee health. Because if you adopt the more than one interval, then obviously we can refresh the mind of that worker, and again we can increase the efficiency, we can decrease the fatigue of that particular work. So taking even 5 minutes to stretch can ease muscle tension and loosen joints, reducing the potential for the repetitive motion injuries. So stretching of arms, stretching of the shoulders, stretching of the legs or the foot, etc., can give you the relaxations, and you can again comfortably join the repetitive work. So these active movements have been shown to be more effective. Then implement safety protocols from the start. So workplace safety starts from day one, which means hiring qualified people who pay attention to the details. So if you are hiring the qualified persons, obviously they are knowing about these safety precautions, etc. And you can easily control the safety protocols. So implementation of these safety protocols, and then only we can start the safely process or safe part. Then how to improve the productivity through the workstation. So there are different parameters like facilitate the proximity. It means that employees needs to physically interact with the other staff, readily access equipments, files, and other resources. So the workplace should enable this interaction by eliminating the barriers, providing the ample meetings spaces, then making it easy to form the team areas, etc. So we can minimize the time duration, we can minimize the work time by facilitating the proximity. Then support individuality. So privacy should not be based on status or hierarchy, but on the nature of the individual work. The required level of confidentiality should dictate whether an employee is provided an open or fully enclosed office. Then provide the comfort. So we already talked about the light requirement, then the air quality requirement, the temperature or the humidity requirement, and the workplace environment. So all these parameters give you the comfort. Then flexibility. So work process change, your service, product change, customer demand change, employee demographic change. Your workplace should be responsive to the different types of changes. So if the product is changed, if the process is changed, then we have to adopt this change. And that is why we have to accept the flexibility in the work also. Then enhance your brand and image. So first impression are as important to workplace as they are for the individuals. So creating a positive image is a key to attract and retain the staff and customers. The office environment needs to be welcoming, warm, even refreshing and dynamic. If it is old, crowded and appears stagnant, then employees will not be proud of their workplace and their performance may suffer. So we have to also enhance the branding of our product, our company, and the image of our product or the company. So this is all about the basics of ergonomics. We will discuss various parameters related to that in the next session. Thank you.